No matter what you do in your life, professionally speaking, especially if you are in a field where there's maybe wide interpretations about what it is that you do, the value that you provide, and why people or organizations should engage with you, you have to have a point of view. You have to have a perspective. This is something I run up against all the time because one question that people ask me when they find out that I'm a futurist is, how does somebody become a futurist? And my answer is, jokingly, but in a number of ways, and kind of serious too, it's you just start calling yourself one because nobody else is going to know the difference. So for me, one of the things that I've had to really hone and focus in on over the past several years is to be really clear about what my perspective and point of view is in my particular field as a futurist. Because for the most part, what I've run into is most people think of a futurist, they think of a keynote speaker who gets up and is going to tell you what the next 50 years is going to look like. And I really have no interest in doing that. I enjoy speaking, but not by giving some, drawn out 90-minute trends presentation. And the reason why is because there's very little value in the present day for that. So if I could really sum up what my philosophy is and what really drives me in the work that I do, it's number one, it's understanding this idea that people create the future, not technology. You see, when we talk about the future, we love to get really amped up about technological innovation and the escalation of big data and automation and how this is going to reshape our workforce. And all those things are certainly interesting. They definitely are. And they will have an impact. But oftentimes we're getting really excited about a prediction or a projection of what this technology is going to do. And we give undue weight to the technology itself as being the driver, the thing that is moving the future in a certain direction. The reality is that technology is just a tool. That's all it is. Technology is a tool. So that tool then needs to have human intention behind it. So when I say that my very first overarching philosophical view on the future and in my work is that people shape the future, not technology, it's because people have to put human intention, they have to put intention to that technology in order for it to really create value. I mean, just think about a hammer. When's the last time you saw a hammer get up on its own and go out back and build a shed? Now, I'm not saying that's completely out of the realm of of what's possible down the road, but from where we are right now, a hammer still requires you to pick it up and put intention behind it. That's how we need to think about the future. It requires human intention. The second part of that is that, second part of my philosophy on this is that the future is created, it's not predicted. You see, this is also one of those things too. I'm often introduced as teaching people how to predict the future, and I have to back that up and say, no, I'm not going to teach you how to predict the future. I know, that makes me a lousy futurist, right? But the reason why the future is to be created and not predicted is because whether you realize it or not, when you make the assumption that the future is there to be predicted, then you are also saying that the future is set in stone. There's only one future outcome, and we're going to predict that outcome. But that's ridiculous. The future is not set in stone. The future is really just an idea. It's a story that is always out in front of you, waiting to be developed, waiting to be created. And when it is created is right now. It's in the present day. So understanding that the future is created, not predicted, leads me into my third overarching tenet, if you will, my philosophy as a futurist, and that is that the future is useless if you cannot leverage it now. And what I mean by that is that thinking about the future, uncovering different impacts, implications of what we see today and how that might create multiple future possibilities, all that is great, but the sole purpose of it should be to make better decisions right now in the actions that you take. The decisions that you make should be influenced by what you have uncovered by looking out and seeing what the possibilities are of the future. If you don't do that, it's useless. Everything is about what's going on right now. Everything is. The value of thinking like a futurist, looking out, to see what might happen down the road is not so you can make 6 or 7 different plans. It's like, all right, well, these are static and we've got this. And if this one starts to happen, good thing we got a plan for it. You have to be able to leverage that information, leverage what it is that you've uncovered as a possibility, and constantly update those possibilities as new information comes in. See, thinking about the future as an idea, it's something that is always evolving. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of acting. If you can't leverage that information now, then it's really just an exercise.